back to the pod. I am home, obviously. Oh, and there he goes. Well, that was my dog, Agent. I really tried to get him into the podcast, but he just can't sit still, unfortunately. Maybe he'll come back. Am I screaming? Yes, because I got a new phone. I got the new iPhone 16. Oh, hi. You want to come up? No? Maybe? Here? No? Okay. I got the new iPhone 16 and I was so excited. New phone. Oh, yay. Did not realize that the charging port is completely different. So now the whole microphone podcast situation doesn't work. But unfortunately, today's Friday and I work all day Saturday. So this comes out on Sunday. You see where I'm going with this? Like Amazon can only overnight things, so far. So we're just gonna roll with this today. And you know what? Let me double check that this is recording because today has been one of those weeks. That's what I was about to say. Today has been one of those days. So let's double check. Okay, we're back. We're recording. I found a friend. I used some toy manipulation. There we go. Oh, he's just so cute. Okay. So I have been here for a week. I've been working a lot and the battery's running a little empty, but we're gonna be okay because I had today to rest. I got a facial if you couldn't tell. And tomorrow we hit the ground running again and it's all gonna be okay. So I love coming home because I always feel more grounded being around my parents, and I just have this sense of like, everything's gonna be okay. All my stressors are just gonna go, they're just gonna go away, okay? So, circle back to last week. I went to dinner with Addie on Friday night. We went to her 5:30 Soul Cycle class in Fidei, and then we went to Stone Street and had a drink, which I'd never been to because why would I ever go down to Fidei? But Stone Street was so fun. All the bars have seating outside. It was a beautiful night. We then go to dinner in the West Village. The reservation was at 8:30, which is already too late for me. That's too late, but that's the only thing that they had on a Friday night. So we're standing outside. 8:45 rolls around. They finally seat us. It's fine. It's fine. We knew we would get in. We had a reservation, but 15 minutes is a long time to just stand there and wait. Okay. So the restaurant is dark, tiny, and it's packed. It's packed. And I'm like, why do you accept these many reservations or walk-ins if you know it's going to be chaos? So we're sitting there, we're eating. We got our food probably around like 9:30, and I was like, wow, this is so late for me. I'm usually winding down by now. So I was proud of myself. Probably around 10, 15-ish, we look around. We take a gander at who else is in the restaurant. And we realize that we're the oldest people there. We are the oldest people in this restaurant. And I am 100% fine with getting old. I feel like every month I just grow a little bit more into who I am, let alone a year. And so we're like, where are all these like 20-year-olds coming from? And it was our first realization of like, wow, okay, we're not their age anymore. And I don't go to Fidei, I don't go to the West Village. I'm more of a midtown girly. I like to stay in my little area. But I was like, is this where people go to dinner before they go out? I'm so confused. But we were both going to bed, so we got on the train and we went home and life was good. On Thursday, the day before that, I went to an acupuncture appointment, which I love. I love where I can go for an old injury, I can go for stress, I can go for lack of sleep, and he will really take care of you. So if you're in New York and you need a recommendation for an acupuncturist that knows what he's talking about, I got you. I walked in there and he always asked, how are you feeling? What's going on? And I just I performed a podcast. Let's just say that. And he was like, oh, okay. I just want to let you know that from the minute you sat down and started talking, you haven't taken a breath once. And he did a little, what's the word? Reenactment of what just happened. And I was like, yep, that looks like me. So I feel like we just need to take a breath. Namaste. Everything's gonna be okay. We're fine. Everything's fine. So I went in there and I was stressed and I could feel it in my body. I could feel it in my upper back. And I knew that I needed some help. So he helped me. Life went on, etc. I have been kind of dealing with a stressor in my life since I probably started this show. And I'm not going to talk about it too much yet. We're going to wait till everything's like signed, sealed, delivered. But we're currently in the final sprint, the final stages of this stressor being out of my life. And it's not a man. It's not a man. Because I would never let a man just kind of linger for this long in my life if he was causing me this much stress. Yes, I've been dealing with this for a while. This person has a way of really getting under my skin and making me like completely forget who I am, what I stand for, like the mental manipulation game tactic situations. It makes me act like I'm 5 years old and I don't know how to have a conversation or act like an adult or have a proper disagreement or negotiation. I just like don't know how to act around this person. So we're in the final stages of that. But I was having a rough day with it on the day that I went to acupuncture. And so I texted Addie, who my soul cycle queen, positive girly. She was like, you need to completely flip how you're looking at all of this. You're in the final stretch. That's already a celebration there. I was nervous that something else was going to happen to cause chaos in this final stretch. And she said, so let it. So let it. If you all get in another argument, if something else happens, you are in the final stretch. Have fun and celebrate that it's the last one. You're going to be okay. This is all going to work out how it's supposed to work out. And do not let all of this what if paralyze you, right? And I said, Addie, I think you're onto something, okay? So I really try to take a deep breath and think to myself, I cannot let all of this what if chaos affect my current day-to-day life. My dad gave me great advice when it came to this situation. He basically just said, some people are just bad, negative people that don't live in the same reality that the rest of us live in, and you can't waste your time trying to figure out why they are the way that they are or figuring out what motivates them. You can't let that get to you. You just have to focus on what's presented to you, and once you clock that in someone, like, oh, I don't think I can trust you anymore, you need to figure out how to get yourself out of that situation. And that is all I will say about the rest of that. Something else that I also realized in the stress of, I don't even want to say stress. I almost want to replace the word stress with excitement, and maybe subconsciously that will help me feel better about all of this. So in the excitement of starting my business, I realized that there's always going to be a to-do list. Life truly, as an adult, for me at least, I don't know what other people are up to, but it really is just one big to-do list, and you cross all the things off and then something else pops up. But business-wise, I like to write everything down, so I had everything written down in my planner, and I would check everything off and then move everything else to the next week, and somehow the list looked longer. And so it just kind of felt like this never-ending cycle. But again, it was all very exciting things, and now that portion of setting it all up is done, so now we can just launch and do our thing. Something else that I do when it comes to to-do lists and tasks, when they feel like they're adding up, yes, write them all down. Write them down just so you can look at them on a piece of paper and you know what exactly you need to do. Yes, writing them in order of priority helps. Like, this is really important, this needs to get done today, and then this, maybe I have a week or so where I can just kind of move that to the next week if needed. What's helped me, especially with my daily tasks, is figuring out which tasks are going to take the most mental or physical energy. So I'm a morning person. So I know that whatever task requires me to be sharp and focused, that needs to happen right after the cup of coffee, okay? Anything else that maybe is just errands where I can zone out and listen to music, or sending emails that's just following up with people, that can happen around 5 p.m. when I start to kind of crash out a little bit and get ready for dinner, and then 9 p.m. call it a night. So try that next time. Try the energy levels, and truly it's helped me so much. I'm gonna need you all to go with me on this one. We have a little visualization exercise that I'm still kind of trying to work out, so I just want you to work with me here. You know how people say, you're a sponge, soak it all in, etc.? That's actually something that I struggle with, because I will have something happen, a stressor happen, and that becomes the entire day for me. I become so obsessed with what this thing is that it really throws a wrench in my day and throws a wrench in my mood. And if I'm in a mood, then it can start affecting other people. So I realized that through all of this, I struggle with situations that involve other people's mess ups affecting me, and also me having to wait for other people to get things done so I can go get things done. And I take that high stress energy and I let that affect me. Okay, so stay with me here, stay with me. Imagine this. Imagine you're just a little sponge frolicking around the earth, living your best life, okay? Now, imagine you have a little barrier around you, almost like a little case, okay? The case still has some air holes so good things can get in, but you have a barrier around you where you can decide if you want to let that energy in or not. You can decide, no, that's a stressor and that actually has nothing to do with me, because I can't do anything until this person signs the form, or this person sends me the email, or this person fills out this document. So I'm not gonna waste my time thinking about that person. They stay outside of the sponge barrier, okay? So you can let what goes in and what you want to release from the barrier. And this came from an idea that my yoga teacher said, and I thought to myself, how can I make this a little bit more visual, maybe a little bit more simple? She said something along the lines of, and I believe that it is like a yoga, I don't know exactly what they call them, like Sanskrit something. Like, I know that she mentioned that it was, one of their practices. Something along the lines of, you need to have internal contentment so external factors don't affect you at all. You need to have internal contentment so external factors don't affect you at all. And I understood this as, you need to be so good and grounded and secure with yourself that whatever the outside world throws at you, because we all know that that's going to happen, it's not going to completely rewire your whole day or completely throw a wrench in your week emotionally, right? Granted, things happen, you need to take time off to get them done, etc., handle it, whatever. But I'm talking about smaller stressors. That day when the chaos that was happening, I think I spent 4 hours just pitter-pattering around, being like, I don't know what to do, and everything got pushed back into afternoon, evening. And I think if you're connected with yourself, you're content with yourself, you're so good and grounded alone, independently, that all of these external factors can't get to you. So I really try to imagine the sponge and imagine not letting, honestly, you all can probably hear that. The mic thing is crazy. Not letting these external things get to me. So maybe try that as an exercise this week. If you see a sponge, now you're gonna think of Presley's pod. I hope it helped. My friend sent some other questions that they would like me to answer, and I'm going to answer 2 of them, and then maybe 3, but maybe we'll save some for next week when hopefully I can have a better mic and things will be going better. Okay, what is one piece of advice you'd give your younger self? I think my younger self was so worried about what other people were up to and what other people were doing career-wise, socially, comparing myself to other people. And I had to say to myself, you need to take a step back and start worrying about yourself, Presley. Because granted, everyone's just worrying about themselves. No one is looking at what you're doing. No one is like finding that. I think we think that people think about us way more than they actually do. So no one cares that much about you. That's horrible, but if it works to tell yourself that, like, everyone is worried about themselves, so stop worrying what people think about you. If there's something that you want to do and you're scared that people are going to judge you, who cares? If you know, like, in your gut that it's something that you want to do and it's not going to harm anybody else, do it. If you want something, go get it, go do it. Do not care about anybody's maybe made up opinions about it. Whew, that was a rant. Okay. What are your biggest icks in men? There can't be a Presley's Pod episode without saying something about a man. I started to know maybe that I didn't really like Mr. CK that much anymore either, when he texted me complaining about Hampton's traffic and how late he got home, because my gut reaction was to text back, you should have left earlier, but I knew that maybe that wasn't appropriate for our situation. So there's something about a man missing a flight that, like, that to me just really, like, you should have left earlier, you should have set an alarm. I don't really understand, like, granted, if there was a delay, sure, but if you just miss a flight, no. No, to me that's such a I really don't like it. Someone that I was very serious with was taking a red eye to come see me in New York. So I was, 10 p.m., getting in bed, ready to go. He texted me something along the lines of, I'm going to go to this event with the friends, but I will definitely be at the flight. I will make it, yada, yada. It shouldn't go too long, whatever. The event also was something that required no cell phones allowed, okay? So I was not clocking the time change. I wasn't clocking the traffic. I was like, this is a grown man. He knows how to handle his time, hopefully. So I go to bed, and I almost said 3 a.m., but that wouldn't make any sense. So I go to bed, and I wake up. I wake up to my phone ringing, and he's freaking out because he missed his flight. I'm so sorry, I missed the flight. And I was like, I could have probably told you that maybe you don't have to go do that with your friends. Maybe you should just hang out at the airport if you really want to come see me. So then it threw a wrench in the rest of our day and yada, yada, yada. So that to me is, it's just a no. Okay, I'll answer one more. What's something that you have learned in the past year that has changed your outlook on something in your life? I think in the past year, I learned a lot about energy and the energy that I pour into things. Being very mindful of what you're giving your energy to, because you want to make sure that you're getting that same energy back. I also think there is something there with that idea of taking your energy away from something that's no longer serving you or not good for you. Good things start to come up. So reassess what you're pouring energy into, and if you're realizing that you're getting nothing back, like, I'm sorry, life is short. Life is short. If that's something that you don't want to be a part of anymore, or you genuinely don't want to do, I was having this conversation with my friend last night, like, we're all adults. If I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do that. Yes, I'm going to be nice and respectful about it, and whatever, if someone needs a talking to, like, I'll talk to them about it, but I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. I would rather spend that time doing something else. So a few things to think about this week. I, again, apologize for the mic situation. There are things in the works for a possible home base for Presley's pod. So I'm thinking maybe not next week, but in 2 weeks, we'll maybe have a temporary home base, and then we'll move into our home base in the new year, which is exciting. So thank you all so much for listening. It's, again, something so fun for me to do, and it's scary, but I'm proud of myself for doing it. So if it motivates you or inspires you to just try and see what happens, I hope that me doing this helps, and I hope that everyone has an amazing week, and I will see you next Sunday. If you ever have any sort of requests or topics you want me to talk about, please message me, comment, whatever platform, and I am happy to take a look and discuss. So thank you so much, and have a great week. Bye.